by watching the radar.
Think about ahead of time where you and your family might go in case you are evacuated. Once the winds become strong, you really want to get inside a safe place. If the eye of a storm ever does pass over you, you really don't want to venture out in the eye. The winds will likely be just as strong on the other side of the storm. Find out if you live in an evacuation zone, get all your supplies. Now's the time to do it. Don't wait till a storm threatens.
Hurricanes are devastating natural disasters, causing major damage to our streets, property, economy, and lives. In recent years, we have dodged a bullet, but storms can strike at any given minute. That is why it is essential for residents to be prepared to avert tragedy. Welcome to Weathering the Storm. This is a Coral Gables television program dedicated to your safety during a natural disaster. In the next few minutes, you will watch and learn how to be prepared in case a major hurricane strikes South Florida. We all remember these daunting images of Hurricane Katrina leaving a path of destruction in New Orleans and in Florida. Powerful winds ripping through homes and an entire city, leaving nothing but debris and flooding on the streets. Over 1,000 people died. Hurricanes are cyclones with rain and winds of 74 miles per hour or greater, blowing counterclockwise direction around a center known as the eye. The storm is measured by categories: 1 being the least severe in winds, and 5 producing greater than 155 miles per hour. Yet no storm should be taken lightly. These are the heartbreaking images a natural disaster can cause. We can do so much to secure our safety, but you can ease the pain by preparing before the storm makes landfall.
Stock up on your supplies to make sure you have a supply to for you and your family for several days after a storm, or if it were to hit. Make sure you have non-perishable foods, water on hand, stock up on batteries, test out that generator, make sure you have all the nuts and bolts for your shutters, make sure all that is ready to go.
Make sure to have a plan in case there is an evacuation. If you take any medication or vitamins, have a list detailing when and how the dosage should be taken.
Think about ahead of time where you and your family might go in case you are evacuated. Make sure you have all your medications, make a list of those, make a list of all your important documents, know where they're at, know where you can grab those in quick notice and evacuate. Again, the best advice is to do all that stuff early so that it takes the pressure, the ease off of it when a storm is threatening.
Stay tuned to local newscasts in case your area is evacuated, or call 305-442-1600. Make sure you have your car filled up with gas. Avoid the long lines and frenzy, so pump fuel early.
During the hurricane season, and especially when one begins to threaten, is to make sure you have, top your car off with gas. If you have a generator, make sure you get fill up some gas cans so you will have gas after the storm. But again, do all that early. There's a big rush on gas and all the non-perishable foods. So if you want to beat that rush, have it a little bit early.
Coming up next, we love our furry friends. They are not allowed in all shelters during the storm. Find out what plans to make.
Yo, what's up, baby? Wanna learn some history? Check it out, check it out. I want your GED right here, guaranteed, Mom. Come on, check it out.
The National Center for Family Literacy.
Yo, I got your arithmetic right here.
Because you can't get your GED on the street. Call 1-877-FAMLIT1 for free learning programs like GED and family computer classes.
And educational videos, top quality, right here.
The National Center for Family Literacy. The first step to a better life.
Not everyone is mobile. That is why the elderly should make emergency plans in advance and decide whether they will stay with a friend or relative. If they need special assistance in the case of an evacuation order, they need to call 311 in advance to register for Miami-Dade County's Emergency Evacuation Assistance Program.
If you have an elderly family member, again, you need to make sure that you have all that planned out ahead of time, what you're going to do with them.
Humans aren't the only living beings in a home. Understand that your pets need protection during a hurricane too. But our four-legged friends aren't welcomed everywhere. Whatever you do, don't leave pets alone at home.
If you have pets, know what you're going to do with those pets. Not all the shelters will accommodate pets. So again, that's something that you should be doing before the season starts, so you'll know and aren't in a rush when a storm threatens as to what you're going to do with your animal.
If you do decide to stay home, here is a list of safety tips for you to follow. Get cash. ATMs are often shut down by storms for a few days. Trim dead or broken branches well ahead of the storm. Secure home with either plywood or shutters. Walk around the house and make sure there is nothing heavy on the ground. Also, have a survival kit. These are some of the items you should have. Non-perishable foods for at least 2 weeks. Drinking water. Flashlights with batteries. Portable radios. And a first aid kit. Remain calm and be patient once the storm strikes. We have all the details on what to do during a hurricane after the break.
Sun exposure starting in childhood is a major cause of skin cancer. That's why you should apply a high SPF sunscreen and keep your kids covered up whenever they're outside, not just at the beach or pool. Protect your children from the sun. They'll thank you for it someday.
When the storm makes its presence felt, stay updated. Listen to the radio or TV for the latest information. Make sure your family and yourself are protected and are away from windows.
Once the hazardous winds begin, people really need to hunker down, get inside, have a safe room in your house with no windows in case the winds get very severe. But don't venture outside. A lot of people end up dying because trees fall on them or flying debris, roof tiles from your neighbor's house. Other things can be flying around and impact you.
You could lose power, so make sure to turn off the air conditioner or water heater and don't use electrical appliances.
Have your flashlights ready so that when the power goes out, you can see. And also, after the storm, be very, very careful with generators and candles and things like that. If the eye of a storm ever does pass over you, you really don't want to venture out in the eye. The winds will likely be just as strong on the other side of the storm. Stay hunkered down in your house. Listen to your radio. Hopefully you have your battery-powered radio working. You can listen to local officials and heed their advice and also what the Hurricane Center is saying. And stay hunkered down till the storm is completely done.
The winds and the torrential rain come to a halt after the storm, but doesn't mean danger still doesn't exist. Debris could put your life at risk. The time to be the most cautious is right after the storm.
Watch out for downed power lines, flooded roadways. People sometimes do venture out and they can walk through large puddles in which the downed power line is laying in. And we've, after Hurricane Irene here in South Florida back in 1999, several people were electrocuted from down power lines immediately after the storm. So you really should be very cautious about venturing out after a storm. The rescue of folks are going to be doing a lot more of the rescuing the folks that were hurt right during the storm, and it's just going to be a while before they can get to you often.
Don't touch any fallen electrical wires around your house. If you have to drive, avoid driving over water.
The first responders are going to be out responding to the most severe injuries and damage, and you really should, if you've gotten your supplies for several days, you're not going to need to venture out.
If you don't have power, grab the flashlights.
Flashlights are much more recommended than candles. Candles, of course, can start fires, and you don't want to have a fire start in your home when there's hurricane force winds outside, because I don't think anybody's going to come put out the fire in the middle of a hurricane. So candles are much more advised, and make sure you have the batteries and the radio is ready to go.
Check local media for updates on when power will be restored and contact your utility company. Residents should be prepared on their own for the first 72 hours and don't rely on local government for assistance for the first 3 days. Before, during, and after the storm, local authorities work around the clock to make sure that your safety is secured. Unity is important during a major disaster. That is why Coral Gables' team spirit is more than alive during a storm. Police officers are more than ready to make sure there is no one on the street whose lives would be at risk. Our great men and women in uniform in the fire department have all the equipment set in case of any major blaze or rescue. The City Communications Department will release information through the reverse 911 telephone system, online at www.coralgables.com, on Coral Gables Television, E-News, and Gables Radio 1620 AM. Then, the lengthy process of debris removal will begin. We hope you grabbed as much information as needed that will secure the safety of yourself and your family. Make sure that when the next storm strikes, you are ready. Coral Gables Television, Rodolfo Roman.